Let's
get
go.
into some politics. So, Schumer's Senate seat is up for re-election 2022, and according to Politico, AOC is considering running for it. Though discussions are ongoing, multiple sources told Politico that her decision will be contingent on how Schumer wields power with his new Democratic majority in the upcoming months, saying, quote, "We've already seen a lot of evolution from Schumer on a whole host of issues. And if he keeps evolving and actually delivers for Democrats and can be the leader we need him to be right now, that's the biggest thing he could do to avoid a big effort behind a primary from the left next year." And that's from Evan Weber. Throughout my career, Senator Schumer says to Politico, "Throughout my career, I do the best job for my constituents and for my country, and it always works out. I haven't had a grand plan like I'm going to be here 10 years from now, here in 20 years. I do my job well, and then the next thing sort of falls in place," said Schumer. So should AOC primary Schumer, or is the threat enough to keep him disciplined? What do you guys think?
Who wants to take? You want to take that first, Darren? You want that one? I mean, I want a piece of it, but I don't know if I want to start first.
Okay.
I can't.
Well, let me say this. I think she should, but in the end, she's not going to. Schumer's going to have his hands in too many things, and has already been working the back channels to see to it that she can't get the support to the primary. I had read that her former chief of staff wanted to get her more notoriety up in the northern part of New York when Bernie Sanders was initially running. I think the second time around, and for whatever reason she decided not to do that. Look, I support AOC. I think she's great in more ways than one. But I just think at the end of the day, Schumer is going to triangulate himself in such a way that once if he can survive these 2 years and get reelected, then I think we'll see the Wall Street Schumer versus the Schumer that we're seeing right now. I just think that at the end of the day, all this is just a game that's being played. And I know we're going to talk about the COVID stuff in just a little bit, so I'm going to save the rest of my my rhetoric for that.
Yeah, listen, I agree with what you said. I feel like I think you said the most important part, Darren, that if he survives the next 2 years, his language is going to go back to the ye old Chuck Schumer, right? And he's getting a lot of mileage on his newfound progressivism in how he talks. Mm-hmm. I need to know, what have you done, right? And from that perspective, the question is, should we primary him from the left? My answer is going to always be yes, whether she wins or
of
not.
Of course.
So, and she's got to make that calculus. So if she decides not to, she's absolutely within her right to not do it or to do it. Either way, I'm a backer.
Yeah. And for me, like I said, Schumer, look, I will give credit where credit is due. I appreciate the fact that he did appoint Elizabeth Warren to the Senate Finance Committee. I think that's huge. And look, obviously, again, we got to keep those little malcontents like Joe Manchin in check. But but obviously, if we're not getting anything done with the Republicans, this is a great opportunity again to not only try to get rid of the filibuster, but to as Elizabeth Warren said yesterday on MSNBC, pass that 2 cent wealth tax. I mean, that's that's stuff that could give us universal child care. I mean, and that would pay for a whole lot of things in this country. And so, look, we may not be able to get there rep one, but if we can get reparations in different manners with this tax by having the wealthy pay for their fair share, then I'm all for it. But that being said, no, we have to make sure that we support, even if there are things that we don't agree politically, people like AOC and Cori Bush and those type of people who come from experience. Look, Nancy Pelosi, I like her. I like her because she at least will stand up to Donald Trump when he was in office. But she doesn't have the same shared experience as an AOC, as a Cori Bush. Chuck Schumer would has never been in the situation as those women. He's never been in a situation with my congressperson Emmanuel Cleaver out of Kansas City, Missouri. And look, and that's okay. But I said it to say that it's important for them to continue to utilize their voice, call things out for what they were, and continue. Because look, while I think that, because I'm looking at the chat earlier, people talking about ages when it comes to Schumer and what AOC can do. It's not a matter of that I don't think that she can't win. I'm just looking at the reality of what politics is and what Chuck Schumer is already in a process doing to try to lock down and make sure he doesn't have a primary opponent. But that being said, even if Chuck Schumer, doesn't have a primary opponent and wins, it is still up to AOC and others to continue to push and for us to push Chuck Schumer in the manner in which he's going right now. And for people like Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders in the Senate to, saying to continue, especially if Democrats hold a slim lead. Chuck Schumer can't go Wall Street Chuck Schumer in 2022 because he's still going to try to be the Senate Majority Leader. So, he's going to have to placate to people like Manchin. He's going to have to placate to people like Warren and Sanders. So with that pressure, and then of course again we still have to push Joe Biden as well. So we just have to make sure that we're doing our job. If we do our job, we'll be able to force people like Chuck Schumer to do the things that we want them to do. Now, we'll talk about the COVID stuff in just a little bit. So I'm trying to refrain from going there. So because I'm gonna let Rebecca run the show. So sit back.
No. We can definitely get more into. We can definitely get more into that.
Don't step on Rebecca's toes. You don't. I can just tell anybody. As a professional,
he must have watched the show yesterday and how these kids came in and ruined my whole kitchen. They just ruined your whole
lesson plan. We came from your lesson plan yesterday.
All of it.
We did the whole thing.
We literally, I think everybody could. I was one of the students I was an insurrectionist. I'm sorry. I always made sure that the teachers, and maybe that's why my teaching experience was so bad because I was such a bad student. But go ahead, Rebecca.
Yeah, God don't like ugly. But so
and I just want you to know I got in trouble for that with my mama too. Thank you.
Good. Because and then the my other teacher friends in the comment section definitely handle business. So thank you guys for that.
Okay. But y'all be all right.
But